Welcome to the Recycle Podcast, where we discuss everyday issues from a mental health perspective. We are your hosts,
Dr. LaFonya Jones,
Dr. Rashonda Strickland,
and Dr. Nichelle Wall. Now, don't get it twisted. We're not going to be your stereotypical therapist.
What we will be is down to earth, informative, a little spicy, and vulnerable.
All right, interns, turn up the volume, grab your pen and paper. It's supervision time. As a reminder, this podcast is not meant to take the place of a relationship with a licensed mental health professional.
Welcome back to Session 40, This Broad.
Session 40.
I know.
Oh my gosh. Y'all,
Almost
we came
a
along.
year.
I know.
That's so exciting.
We getting old, y'all. We getting old.
I know. This session makes us fully grown.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This is, the
Yes.
auntie level.
And speaking of getting old, we do need to wish a happy birthday to Dr. Strickland, who recently had a birthday.
Yay!
And another shout out is to Dr. Jones, who recently got married.
Yay!
We out here prospering and growing and stuff.
Okay.
Doing big things popping.
Yes.
So just a disclaimer for you guys, since we only do this broad on months that have a fifth Wednesday, this is not a particular flow. There's nothing that we've researched for this particular session. This is just us being us. This is not us with the professional hat on. It's just us being ladies.
It's unfiltered.
This
is not for the parentals.
But I will still keep my mouth in check so we don't get demonetized.
How about that?
Mm-hmm. All right.
Well, what about their recording, y'all?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all know which one I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
With the Franklins.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did y'all hear it?
I heard some of it. I haven't heard all of it, but I heard some of it.
Yeah, I heard it. So I got two thoughts. One thought is I can totally get where some people may be like, hey, parents need to respect their kids better. They need to, show love. They need to, find different ways to parent their adult children and all of that and respect. But on the other end, I can also understand your parents are human. Mm-hmm. And it's only so much crap they gonna take before they flip off and they treat you like some dude in the street.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Yeah.
And I think it's a responsibility on both parts to check themselves. Now, me having known this particular individual
Mm-hmm.
in college, I think I'm probably gonna side with Kirk Franklin. I'm just gonna be real because some of the characteristics and traits that his dad was talking about are the things that I witnessed, people that were at this particular school witnessed to him. And so it just shows a decade, 15 years later, you still doing the same stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a certain level of, because we've always said that parenting has to change as children age. And so at this point, dude, you're 33. Like, you're not a kid.
Yeah. And I do appreciate that Mr. Franklin said that his family has a family therapist.
Mm-hmm. And I can appreciate
that ain't normal.
Right.
No, it need to be, but
right.
it ain't.
Especially for a black family.
Yeah. And I can appreciate the fact that apparently whatever was going on, and I didn't hear this part because apparently he didn't record this part, but it was said that they were trying to resolve whatever issue they was going through with the therapist before he started recording.
Mm-hmm.
So I can definitely appreciate that they used their resources.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I agree with everything you ladies are saying. It's like y'all summed that up real nice. But I agree. Parents, I agree. It has to change. And the thing is, if you don't, then you get into these kind of situations like this, and it will just continue on and drive a wedge deeper and deeper and deeper if neither one of us can admit that there is some sort of disconnect, and we either need to agree to disagree, we need to become estranged, or we really got to make the decision that we're going to focus on whatever these pain points are and do the background work in order to heal from that.
Yeah.
But if you walk in with resentment and you have expectations that the other person is going to change before you change, you're already going into it with a, I don't want to say impure heart, but
That's accurate for these two.
Yeah.
He's just gonna put the Christian spin on it.
Right.
I was trying not to.
Yeah. I just think that for him to, well, I think I heard in the recording, I heard, in Kirk Franklin's apology, he was saying that they were having family issues already. So my thing is, if you already have family issues and y'all are obviously in family therapy, what made you think this was healthy to be recording your father? Because obviously if he got to that point, because nobody really just gets to that, just come out cussing you out.
Yeah. There's a buildup.
Yeah, there's a buildup there, and this is alleged. I don't, of course, I didn't hear the whole recording, but I'm assuming that there was some sort of communication that got him to that point to where he felt like he had to talk to his son like that.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about 0 to 100 or 0 to 60, but in reality, it's extremely rare for a person to go from no, reaction to they're just over the top. There are steps that happen in between. Now, you may not be paying attention to those slow transitions as you're ramping up. But I agree, most people do not go from 0 to cussing you out.
Yeah. And I think the other part is, you have one side that you look at and you're like, okay, is this a parent being verbally abusive, emotionally, mentally abusive? And as far as I know, there's not a track record of Mr. Franklin being like that. Because I feel like people would have drugged him already, because folks already have a problem with the way that he does gospel music. Well, at least back in the day when we were younger. Now it's more accepted.
And he also came out as having an addiction earlier in his career.
Addiction from the streets, a whole bunch of stuff. He's not the poster child for
gospel. Or Christianity. Or,
everybody already talking about he applies a gospel. You know what I'm saying?
I like Plies though.
And
I like Plies on the internet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. I like that.
That version. Yeah.
Yeah. But then on the other side, like, I'm sitting here, if I put myself in his son's shoes, my mom would have knocked me in the next week. If I disrespected my mama like that, as I got years on him, as the age I am, 37, my mama wouldn't have hesitated to knock me in the next week. She'd have been like, I love you, but
it ain't getting ready to be no
you not gonna disrespect me. Period. It don't matter if I'm your mama. It don't matter if I'm some random chick. There's no need for you to disrespect me. So it just kind of course we are kind of filling in holes, because the whole recording was not posted online. We only got the little snippet or whatever, but it just leads me to think, what else has been going on in this family system? It's almost the way his son posted and the things he said in his posts and things like that, it almost gave me personality vibes, personality disorder vibes, to be honest. This is not just, okay, he's a wayward child turned into a wayward adult. Like, it gives me that. That's not to say he ain't battled some stuff in that home and, growing up in the family system that he grew up in, because I can imagine that's difficult for any of their children.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I agree. It's like, it's hard to assess some things because you don't have all of the family history and the background. So you can only go by what you saw and what you read online. But it definitely screams that there is something more deep-seated going on there. Definitely on the son's part. I'm pretty sure on, dad's part too. Just in a different way, because people forget that parents and children view each other from a different lens. Even when you're an adult, parents will not ever see their child on equal level to them, because I am the parent. I raised you, I taught you, I got you, and I'm still, and in some ways I still take care of you. So we're not lateral level. Now, this is not to say that, I think I'm better than you or anything or kind of hierarchical like that. but we just cannot view each other from the same position, the same way a child does not view their parent as lateral to them. You know, there are some relationships that have very loose boundaries. So, you know, kids talk to their parents in very casual, like super loose ways. But for the most part, when you're talking about your average family, you know, there's a level of decorum that children have with their parents. You know, that may include things like not cussing in front of them.
It's a level of respect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in apparently because they have a family therapist, I'm assuming there has been some damage somewhere.
Yeah, you can tell it's some wounds there.
Yeah.
You can hear it in the way the apology went. You can hear it in the way that Kerrion is having an outcry. Like there is something going on in the family system, whether it's because of both of them, one of them, half of one, the mama, the sister, like whoever.
Somebody hadn't healed from some stuff
going on. And because people have a tendency not to see correctly once they are hurt or wounded, it ain't no telling what done really happened. It could have been that you didn't give me a cookie one day, and because I internalized that as a kid, you don't love me, and then that becomes the framework that you view your family system as. Like we've literally unpacked stuff like that in therapy, and they get to the root cause and they realize, man, I really didn't see this situation correctly, and I hurt myself, I hurt my family, and that can be on both sides, Mr. Franklin or Kerrion's.
Well, you can, I mean, like you all was saying earlier, you can definitely assume that, you know, because Kirk Franklin is famous, so he's probably on the road a lot. He's probably gone for long stretches of time and stuff like that. So he probably hadn't, I don't want to say probably, maybe there was not enough time spent with his son.
Absence.
Yeah. And so now it was like, well, you was never there for me as a father. Well, yeah, I was working.
Yeah, because they got like what, 5 children, I think.
I think I saw 3 in the picture, and then Kerrion. Maybe I saw 4. I know I saw at least 3 of them in the picture.
They got a larger family.
Yeah.
It was. Let me just say this. So we were at a retreat that I had hosted for my mom when the news hit, and my brother, who was like 12, 13 when he met him, was like, "Did you hear what happened? He out here still doing stuff." My brother was 12. And those are the words verbatim that came out of his mouth.
Wow.
I was like, what are you talking about? I don't even know what had happened. So that's why I'm like, oh Lord.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
But I think this just goes to show that pain runs deep.
It does. And it don't change easily.
Oh no.
No.
You have to do some work. And in one of the clients that I saw actually today, she was we're working on trauma, and she was saying how she didn't know how to get to the point that I was asking her, because I just started seeing her. She didn't know how to get to the point where I was asking her, because she was like, I'm assuming it's steps in between getting to, you know, that place. And I said, yes, but she has been in therapy before and they didn't work on that part. And so I told her, I said, yes, there are steps. I said, I just needed to know if you had already started the steps, because you've been in therapy before. Yeah. And so I gave her the first step. And well, let me take that back. I gave her the second step, because the first step is for her to write her story, her trauma out, and she can't do it. So we got to skip the first step and go to the second step until she's ready, if she ever get to that point.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so funny. Well, I think we all deal with trauma at some point during the week. And it does put me in mind of somebody that I've been working with. And this week we talked about personal narratives or schemas. Yeah. And we kind of did that decision tree type model or Socratic questioning thing that we've talked about before. Mini Psych 101, Socratic questioning is basically you ask yourself a series of questions until you get down to the base level or identify the root cause, essentially. So we were doing that, and we finally got to, she basically kind of had 2 schemas, failure and unlovability. You know, and it's like, do you realize that that's the glasses you view the world through?
Mm-hmm.
Like you experience and go into every situation with the expectation you're going to fail.
Yeah.
You enter into your relationships with the expectation that this person's not going to love you. So then you end up with a self-fulfilling prophecy and confirmation bias because you only look for things that support what your narrative is.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it was really, thank goodness, it was eye-opening for her because she was like, I had no idea that I was really looking at the world this way. And it explains why I struggle so bad with having, you know, healthy long-term friendships and relationships, why my relationship with my parents is so chaotic, you know, that I keep looking at people this way, but I tell myself that's not what I want, but I only look for things that support that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's what's familiar. So anything outside of that is going to be a problem for you. I mean, you know, all of us have had things happen in our childhood that shaped who we became and what we search for. You can see it in the way we date. We can see it in the type of friends that we have, all of that. So if none of that is, you know, fixed or processed or whatever, we just continue the cycle. And sometimes we don't know. And then other times we just like, no, this feel better than doing something new.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you identify with your pain. And
Too
you
much.
you don't know who you're going to be without this identifier. You know, you have no idea what your personality is because you lead with, you know, that trauma, that pain or whatever it is. So then when it's gone, you know, some people feel like a shell.
Yeah, because you build your life around that. Like it becomes your identity. It's like second nature at this point. And so now for you to come to therapy and we're telling you, or, you know, helping you to recognize these things, how are you going to fix it?
Yeah.
Because if I let this go, then what does that mean? Who am I without it?
Which makes me wonder if that is what's going on with this, I almost said young man, he's our age, with this man, you know, so I'm going to backtrack before I make this point. So one time I was working with this couple, it's been a few years ago. And one of the things I was trying to figure out for them was the man in the relationship had an affair on the woman. And they just kept having problems and they just could not seem to get past this issue. So one of the things I asked her, I said, well, is your pain too great to move forward? I said, because sometimes it is.
Yeah.
You know, not every situation is going to be fixable through therapy. You know, some people like to think that it is, but some situations just aren't. So is your pain too great to move forward? Yeah. So then so thinking about this particular situation, you know, it makes me wonder that question for him.
Yeah.
Is his pain too great to move forward with his father?
Yeah. And reconciliation don't mean back together.
True.
Reconciliation means that you have reconciled the differences. That's it.
And the same thing with forgiveness. Forgiveness doesn't mean that you have to reconcile. It just means that you've cut the strings that have attached you to this pain.
Yeah. There's so many people that I know on my personal caseload that we have had to completely sever a parental relationship. Not in an unhealthy way. You don't just walk out and you try to figure out ways to work on it from your perspective. Can they respect you? You know, it's a process. But at the end of the day, that person had to walk away from their family. If their family needs something, they are totally there for them. So it's not no longer nothing, but we're not hanging out. We're not kicking it. We're not calling. You know, if my mom needs something, I can send her some stuff. If my dad needs something, I can send him some stuff. But we are not in relationship with each other.
Yeah, that day to day is what can be more toxic than that every now and again.
Well, because anybody can put on a mask and do good for a few hours.
Yeah.
You know, think about going on a date with somebody. You know, the representative is there.
Girl,
you know,
that representative be on point.
Yeah, the representative is there. So, and some people are really good at hiding and keeping that, you know, that face up for a while. You know, it can be the same thing with family. I can go to Thanksgiving and, you know, say hi and, you know, rub shoulders. And, but then
and go on home. And people have asked me that, how I interact with certain people on either side of my family, and I was like, I can go for a few minutes. I said I can go pay my respect of whatever it is that we're doing, and have saved up, because I'm an introvert, saved up enough to be able to be kind, and I am kind, but to not let my pain of whatever our relationship is infect the whole event. And then I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna decompress, and I'm gonna lean on the people that I can lean on.
Right. And that's what you have to do, because like the ladies were saying earlier, everything is not reconcilable. Because everybody don't want to reconcile, or people don't want to show remorse or admit their fault, or their part in whatever needs to be reconciled. And sometimes they do, and they still haven't changed. And so even if they do recognize it and apologize, if they don't change, that's still toxic.
Yeah. And people realize reconcile comes from the phrase reconcile your till. So if you don't know what a till is, that's your cash drawer. Whatever you do, you make it go down to whatever it is supposed to be before the day of business started. So if you started with $100 and blah, blah, blah came in because of whatever was purchased or whatever, you reconcile your drawer back down to $100. That don't mean you get to keep what you made. That don't mean you gonna steal it and put it in your pocket. It's a certain protocol that goes with that, and that's the same thing that you're doing when you are going through your forgiveness journey, your reconciliation journey. There are things that you are going to learn about yourself, and there are things that you need to take off, but at the end of the day, that relationship doesn't have to be something that you keep.
What this also makes me wonder about, just the age of social media and putting let me not say everything, but putting very intimate personal details on a public platform. And how have we gotten to this point that type of thing is acceptable, regardless of these two individuals, but just in a general sense, when you think and look at social media, like so many people put
private details of their life.
Very private details online for just anybody. And of course, you don't know whose pages are private or public and who shares what, and screenshots and send it. there's so much. And it's like, where did, you don't want to hide things. So that's not what I'm saying. But
you also don't want, I think I understand what you're saying, Dr. Strickland. You don't want to hide things from the people that need to know.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
Instead of exposing it to everybody that don't need, because we didn't need to know that conversation. Right. And I know you weren't specifically talking about that.
But you're making a good point, though.
Yeah.
I can't remember which one it was, y'all jog my memory, but it goes back to the session we recently had about types of manipulation. You putting somebody else in your business to try to make yourself more credible and to get the story out there first. It's a common manipulation tactic that news and social media has used for ages.
Yeah.
And so what you did was you made somebody else a participant in your relationship. And so now you got millions of people in your relationship, but it's not going to work out the way anybody wants it to work out now.
Right. Because I'm sure he feels like it backfired on himself if he has any type of knowledge.
Self-awareness. Yeah, because this did not play out.
I don't think. No, I think there's a small percentage of people, excuse me, that believe everything that he's saying, and I don't think either side is completely correct, but believes everything that this person is saying, and it's like, I'm gonna go with him, I'm gonna ride or die for him, he's completely wrong, blah blah blah. But the vast majority are rocking with his daddy
that I've seen online. Yeah,
whether it's because they're parents themselves, and I'm not saying the toxic parents, but parents themselves, or they know him, or they have seen the interactions between the family. So I mean, you have to put that into practice. But if you don't, which is what I'm assuming, educated guess, that he does not have a lot of self-awareness. He didn't think that fully through. It was a tit for tat type of thing. You did this to me, I recorded this, and now I'm going to release it
and hurt you.
Yeah.
He wanted him, it seems like he wanted him to feel the pain that perhaps he's been feeling for years.
Yep, maybe the pain of rejection. I mean, of course. So disclaimer, guys, we know, again, we're going to put out there that we do not have all of the background about their family dynamics from the beginning. This is for entertainment, informational stuff, that we're not diagnosing anybody. So this is just conversation between ladies.
Yeah.
So please do not take this too seriously. But I am guessing, maybe it's, if the son feels that he has been rejected / abandoned by him in some sort of way, this is an opportunity for you to see that on a mass scale.
And to get the attention that he desires from his father or family.
Because we've talked about this before. Negative attention is still attention.
Yep.
You see it in children all the time.
Yeah.
Running, screaming, hitting the parent, and the parent may ignore them, all kinds of stuff, or hit them back. But if you don't have quality time, then some people will just take anything.
And the thing is that it's hard for, I would assume it's hard for celebrities. Like, so my parents are singers and they used to travel a whole lot. And my mom traveled, well, I guess they traveled equally, but my mom traveled a little bit more than my father because my dad was obviously the head of the household. Somebody had to have insurance. They had children. So my mom would be gone a lot more than my dad. And I remember, like, she would be gone for months, or at least it seemed like a month to me. I was a child, so who knows? It may not have been that long, but it seemed like a month. And in that time, I missed my mother. I was ready for her to come home. And so I can imagine
how they're going on tour and they're gone for 6, 7, 8, 9 months out of the year.
Exactly.
And she's the backup singer versus, if she's the front runner, then she can set up some stuff for the whole family to travel maybe.
Well, when it was just my older brother, she did. But then when I came along, I mean, they couldn't have somebody. I mean, Michael Jackson held my brother. So, they was back there. But when I came along, both of us couldn't go, but I can just imagine how, I mean, his father was the front runner. So even if he did if he did take him, it wasn't like he was going to be able to be interacting with him. He was still going to be by himself.
Yeah.
So it's hard. I can imagine it being hard for Kirk Franklin to be a parent and be a celebrity, and just like any other celebrities.
Yeah. Well, just any high-powered individual, I imagine that as well. When you think about CEOs, business owners, physicians, anybody that's in a position that has some version of power, whether that power is legitimate or not, but perceived power, certain positions, as we're all aware, come with a certain level of prestige. So when you are in those types of positions, you tend to be very career focused.
Yeah. And
when you are a career focused individual, it doesn't leave you a lot of room to have a whole lot of relationship,
Yeah. No matter, and the children suffer.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
So just to kind of lighten the mood on that, because we can go all day about that.
Yeah, we can.
We really can. So I saw this meme.
Okay.
Since we're talking about parents. In the meme, it said, which mama would you rather have? And the 5 mamas that was listed were Angela Bassett, Felicia Rashad, Loretta Devine, Lynn Whitfield, and Jennifer Lewis.
Okay. Now I say that's an easy one. If we're talking about the mama that we wish we had out of those set.
So let me put a let me throw a little wrench in there. When you choose your mama, are you choosing based off the characters they've played? Or are you choosing based off the woman that you believe they are?
That's a good question.
Okay, so I'm gonna choose. I'm gonna choose Felicia Rashad.
Okay.
That's my top one. Because of most Not that last Tyler Perry movie. But most of the mamas that she have played have been very nurturing, very caring. But she still get in that butt. She don't play about disrespect. Let me think. I would love to have Jennifer Lewis as an aunt.
Oh yeah, I think she'd be a great
aunt. Let me do whatever I want to. Still talk to me crazy. Because ain't nobody messing around in these streets. No. Lynn Whitfield, she be doing too much. She be doing too much in her roles. Who was the other? Loretta Devine. She gonna have to be an auntie or a cousin.
Not a cousin.
Because I don't know if my needs gonna be met. You know what I mean? Because she be absent-minded in the movies. And then
Angela Bassett is kind of like a toss-up for me personally, because the roles that she typically play are not always mothery as I would need, or she being abused, or she don't stand up enough. But like when she's not a mama, she be cold-blooded. You know, but all of the women, I love them personally, like their personalities and who they appear to be online. I love all of them. Dr. Wall had a whole breakdown.
You know, I want to throw it out there.
So I think for my top one would be Angela Bassett, because of the woman I think she is. Okay. She seems like she's one of those people who you can just go and talk to. And like, even if you 16 and you thinking about having sex, you can go talk to her about it and she'll be real with you. Now she still may not be like, you better not, but I just feel like she's that type of woman. My second choice would have to be Felicia Rashad, because she's just so like, she has mannerisms like my mother. Not that I would put my mother second, but she does.
It's just fantasy.
Yes, she does. She has that classiness about her, like my mom, to me. And so it's just, based on her characters, it's familiar to me. So,
yeah. Based off characters, I would definitely say Felicia Rashad would be my number one choice based off the character. And I will say that's solely based off The Cosby Show.
Yes.
So I'm just going to go ahead and be honest and put that out there. Because I liked her balance of love, care, concern, and teaching and accountability.
Yeah.
But also allowing you to live. Like she wasn't overbearing. She wasn't, she let you learn your lesson.
Yeah.
And then after you learned it, all right, so now let me come tell you why you needed to learn that lesson. And I agree with you, Dr. Jones, and I believe you may have said this too, but she just has a certain, I don't know if you would say swag for a woman, because that's usually reserved for men, but
she carries herself.
Yeah, she has a certain way of just carrying herself. She has a certain air about her, aura about her that just seems so regal and so I don't know, put together. Just something about her, and I don't know if it's the way she speaks, the way she moves, all of that.
It's her and her sister Debbie.
Yeah, yes, when you watch old videos of her, like even when she was very young, I mean, there was just something about her, you could just tell that this woman is just awesome.
Yeah.
So that would be based off characters. If I was going to base off women that I think they may be, I really want to combine a couple of them into making like a Transformer mama.
Not Transformer.
Yes. So if I was going to transform them go, Papa. If I was going to Mighty Morphin, them together, I would say Felicia Rashad, Angela Bassett, and Loretta Devine. So I say Felicia Rashad for all the same reasons that I said based off her character. I would add Angela Bassett because she seems to have a resonance about her as well. And she also seems very wise. And I don't know why I think that. I don't know if there's something about the way I've heard her speak or in personal settings, like, interviews and things like that. But there just seems to be an intelligence about her, a wiseness about her.
Definitely.
I can agree with that.
That's Chadwick Boseman mama on TV.
Yes. And I would pick Loretta Devine because I think she would be enough of a sprinkle to have that kind of like Mrs. Doubtfire feel, like very motherly, love you, let me cook for you, baby, you know, you good, you know, like just that when you want somebody to just collapse into. Like I don't get that feeling from the other two. I think they are beautiful women. I think they have wonderful strengths, but when I think about I'm scared or I was dumped or I failed something, when you want to just melt into another person, I see Loretta Devine.
She speaks to your inner child.
Yeah, I can see that.
And I definitely see auntie vibes from
Jennifer Lewis
and Lynn Whitfield. Lynn Whitfield would be my auntie to get me into connections.
The bougie auntie.
Get me to the next level.
And teach me how to make this shmoney.
Yeah, teach me how to work. Teach me how to look like a woman. Teach me how to move like a woman, a certain type of lady. And
Jennifer Lewis will just teach you how to cut somebody.
This my auntie like, ooh, auntie, guess what mama did?
Yeah.
Mama getting on my nerves, auntie. That's she that one.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
I can agree with that.
So
I like that.
That would be my list.
If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. There's certain tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. That's ANCHOR.FM.
What do y'all think about dads?
Ooh.
What's our list?
Ooh, dads. Denzel Washington. I'm trying to think of older men.
Not old enough to be our fathers.
Let me think older men. Denzel Washington.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Samuel L. Jackson. Ooh, that's a good one.
I know.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Lawrence Fishburne.
Ooh, that's a good one. Lawrence Fishburne. That's 3, huh? We need 2 more. Delroy Lindo. James Earl Jones. Even though he would be more like granddaddy level.
I know.
Yeah, that's granddaddy.
Let's say Eddie Murphy.
Oh, Lord.
So Eddie Murphy gonna be my uncle.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, or you guys want to change that one out
No,
for
I
someone
mean,
more fatherly?
He the appropriate age.
I know. I was trying to think like who's all in that category.
I mean, we cannot say Bill Cosby, so we're not even gonna put him up there because too much done happened.
That's why I didn't put him in the list.
Man, whatever.
But if nothing had happened,
Yeah.
he was a great character
Yeah.
of a father. We ain't gonna say in real life because real life is harsh. Eddie Murphy definitely gonna have to be an uncle for me. How he plays people and who he is outside, because that man is thrown off sometimes. But he's comedic, and I have an uncle that reminds me of him, so that's par for the course. The ones you chose, it's hard because I feel like all of them are pretty good dads. You got Denzel, you got Delroy Lindo. What was the other ones?
Samuel L. Jackson and Lawrence Fishburne.
Oh, I know.
They just gonna have to all be grouped in together. I'm gonna be honest because I feel like all of them bring something different. I guess maybe the one that would encompass the most just based off of character might be Denzel Washington, but that's also because he's the black male star of Hollywood, so he's had a lot of different roles that we've been able to see him play versus somebody like Delroy Lindo. The roles that we do see him play, he bomb, and he bomb off screen. He'd get right with you. Lawrence Fishburne,
Yeah.
He gonna make you dream because he's Morpheus. You know, he gonna make you get your life together.
Yeah.
But also he has a lot of stuff that he started with Denzel age stuff as well as Samuel. And Samuel gonna get you right.
So if I had to pick one as my like, I would pick Samuel L. Jackson.
Of course you would.
One, because he'll be saying MF all the time. But no, I keyed. But I think out of the 5 of those individuals, he's like the best balance for me. He has the ability to be very serious and very directive, and I can see the fatherly aspect of that. I feel like he would be more of a stoic kind of father in some ways, but then he'll flip on animated. You and become very animated, very, and joke and still give you a lesson in the fun. I feel like he kind of is a good spectrum. Whereas I get a very distinguished vibe from Denzel. And I don't know if that's just how he presents himself, to the public, and who he is at home and private is very different. But I get a very distinguished vibe from Denzel Washington. From Delroy, I get a very like old school kind of dad. Maybe more of a traditionalist kind of, which would benefit definitely, I think, some people. But for my particular personality, I think Samuel L. Jackson would be the best fit for me.
Do you remember that excerpt where Delroy was on the show and he was like, just say it then? When that man wanted to say the N-word, he's like, well, just say it. Not going to say it. You can say it.
Right, yeah.
That's what I always play in my head.
Yes. I love that. I think he would be a fantastic uncle. I think he would be a bomb. I think you could go to him with a problem and he would help you problem solve, not make you feel guilty, not judge you. That he would be like down for something like that. Like, okay, well, let's really sit down and figure this thing out.
Yeah.
And
I can see that.
It would be private. Like you came to me, we're gonna keep it here, and I'm not gonna run and tell your daddy or your mom or stuff like that.
Like this Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I feel like that's a good characterization of him.
Yeah.
In my mind.
Yeah.
In my mind.
So I would have to say Eddie Murphy and Samuel L. Jackson would be my uncles. Like,
okay.
Because I need both of their personalities in my life. I would have to choose Delroy as the father because of, like you said, the character he played in This Christmas. And he seems like he's just kind of down to earth. And I guess that kind of reminds me of my own father. So, yeah, so he's just kind of low key. I think Lawrence Fishburne would be...
He almost granddaddy, to be honest, like in my mind. Like I still see him younger, but who he is now is like granddaddy.
Like I feel like he has a lot of wisdom. Like for him and Denzel Washington, like with Denzel Washington, I feel like I would have to be, not that, because like you said, he has this air about himself that like,
I feel like you had to be perfect.
Yeah, I feel like I would have to be perfect, and he could be completely different than that. But I just feel that way about him, and I kind of get that vibe from Lawrence Fishburne too, that I would have to be perfect.
Yeah.
But, so yeah,
very
that's
interesting.
my choices.
Well, I morphed mine,
Yeah, you transformed them together.
Yeah,
I know. I think when you see stuff like that online, them kind of memes and stuff like that, it's very interesting to me. Like when you really start thinking about the psychology of why you make these decisions, because I mean, it's not stuff you walk around thinking every day. Like, I wish my dad was Samuel L. Jackson, But when somebody presents something like that, it's like, well, if I had options, like if I could go to the store and say, I'm gonna build a mama or build a daddy, what kinds of qualities would I choose? But you also have to remember you're choosing this based off of an adult brain, and what you would choose as a child is likely going to be different. But just and then who we think these people are. That's the other thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you morphing the character and the person together and you can't separate the two? Because in reality, we don't know any of these people on a real level.
Yeah.
But like, what do you see? What have you picked up on them and mannerisms and things like that over the years that lead you to making the decision that you did?
Yeah.
I think as a child, I would probably choose Eddie Murphy because he seems the most fun.
I probably would have to.
I don't know who I would have chosen as the mother.
I probably would have chosen Loretta Devine for the same reason. She seems the most like
Yeah, she does.
carefree.
Bubbly.
Yeah.
I still would have chose Felicia Rashad because I love the Cosby Show, so I would have still chose her.
Yeah, but if I didn't have that wherewithal, the information like from the Cosby Show, Loretta Devine's personality is more bubbly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, y'all know I can't do all that. She turned my nerves up as a kid too. I'd be like, if you don't get somewhere and sit down, because I've always been like that.
Yeah. I think I would have chosen. Which could you imagine that as a pair? Ooh, that would be interesting.
Oh gosh,
So
Eddie
you
Murphy
got-
and Loretta Devine. Oh my.
Who was your person, Sam? Oh Lord, we was gonna have to get you in some counseling. Them two together.
Got the extreme ends.
Yeah.
That would have
Wow.
been hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that's interesting, guys. You know, I just thought that was a fun little, when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's an interesting little question to ask. You know, of course, like we've said, we don't know any of these people, so we're just completely, guessing. But I thought it was an eye opener, kind of what you may see as important or valuable.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
So I have another meme question for
Okay.
y'all.
All right, let's go.
So one of these has got to go.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Burgers,
That's not fair. You know I'm trying to be vegan now.
but you've
You can have
eaten
vegan burgers.
Yeah, you've eaten burgers in the. Okay, so let me. All right.
No, go ahead. I'll play.
You can have a vegan burger. They good.
So one of these has got to go. Burgers, crab legs.
You know it ain't crab legs for me.
She's like, I can already answer this now.
Yeah.
Tex-Mex or barbecue.
Tex-Mex. And it's most people who know me, y'all know it's because I
don't
hate beans.
like beans. No
Only
beans.
reason why I
no beans.
None.
So,
Absolutely
like that's
none.
the only thing Tex-Mex got is beans. That's so weird.
No
I
beans.
go to eat Tex-Mex with Dr. Strickland because that's her favorite. So of course it can't always be about me. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna eat Tex-Mex today. So
I can tell you what's gonna happen. Is there any beans in this? So I don't want no beans.
she can order my food.
No beans. I don't
even
want
have
no
to be there.
beans. So make sure when they bring it ain't no beans in here. You sure it ain't no beans? No, there's no beans. Okay, I just want to make sure there want no beans.
Are you sure?
I don't know, y'all, because I like to eat food. It can't be barbecue because my family's from Tennessee and we have bomb barbecue in Tennessee.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm a Texan, so it can't be Tex-Mex. Burgers or crab legs.
I know it's like choices.
I know.
I don't know, y'all.
I'm gonna say burgers. That one I feel like it's an easy one for me.
Well, you don't eat them a lot.
I don't.
But does burgers mean you can't have chicken sandwiches either? Because that's like a burger, too.
Ooh,
You get what I'm saying?
Ooh,
So I was going
I didn't
the
even
whole,
think. I didn't even think that.
Because that
deep
means you
into
can't have no
it.
Chick-fil-A.
Ooh, because that's that whole idea. Like, what makes a sandwich?
Yeah,
Like when people ask, "Is a hot dog a sandwich?"
it
Oh,
is.
yeah.
A quesadilla is a sandwich.
Mm.
A Jamaican
So what is
beef
the definition
patty
of a?
is a sandwich. You know what I'm saying? A torta. Like it's my
So
whole.
it makes you wonder, like, what's the definition of burger? Is it beef between two buns?
Or is it meat between two buns?
Ooh.
Because you got turkey burgers, you got vegan burgers, you know what I'm saying? Like my mom, shrimp burgers, like y'all
Critical
know I
thinking.
can't never just have
There you
it
go.
be one thing.
You threw it back. I like that.
Now, if it's everything, then I'm gonna have to go with crab legs, and I like crab legs. You know, I like a good ball.
Yeah, I'm a crabby crab, so I got to have the crab legs.
But if it's
Just beef, then you can give up the burger.
yeah,
But if it's meats,
we gonna have a problem. And I don't know if that's because that's like you just go quickly and can get any type of burger anywhere type situation, or if that's because crab legs is high. You know what I mean? Like you have to kind of like, what
That's
is my
true.
reasoning behind that? But those, those would be my two least.
gotcha.
So I'd have to figure that out.
Yeah. Did you say yours?
Burger.
Oh, okay.
But I was thinking beef.
Oh, yeah.
And then Dr. Wall expanded my mind like the universe. Like the Big Bang. So then I'm having to reassess. Because if we're talking, meats between bread, then I'm going to have to go with crab legs. And I'll just eat lobster and shrimp
Crawfish.
and crawfish.
Crawdad.
I'll get the seafood feel some kind of way. But if we expand that category to seafood versus crab legs, then I'm getting rid of the burger.
Gotcha.
Because I can still have fries. See?
Now-
we didn't get rid of fries. You see what I did there?
Now, if you would have said between burger and pizza, burger's going.
Oh,
Because pizza
For me,
is king. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh.
For me, pizza would be gone because I don't eat that much pizza.
No one cares, Dr. Jones.
what is wrong with you? Between burgers and pizza. Ooh.
Which is still a sandwich.
I think I would have to, as much as I'm going to cringe, I think I would get rid of pizza. I think I would.
All the types. Chicago. New York.
Yep.
Mexican. All the types.
I think as long as I can still have Italian food. Because if you tell me get rid of Alfredo, I'm going to be like, no, I'm sorry. And spaghetti, even though I know spaghetti is an American invented dish, but I can't, I can't get rid of those two.
Okay.
But I think pizza, I can make it. I might be looking at you if you eating it like.
I'll waft it.
Yeah.
So you can smell it.
Yeah, I might be over in, the Jelly Belly land, but I think I can make it.
Okay.
Okay.
But Tex-Mex, nah, bruh. No. We're not getting rid of Tex-Mex. I love guacamole.
No.
I love queso. I love tacos.
Chips. Quesadillas. Enchiladas.
I love blue corn, yellow corn, white corn,
flour.
harina, tostadas.
Y'all should really see her. She done
Burrito.
went gangster.
We're
Pico de
not
gallo.
getting rid of Tex-Mex. Refried beans.
Frijoles.
Yes. The black version and the pinto version.
Negras. Pinto.
Not happening. Salsa. How could you ever get rid of that expansive?
Because all she do is think about beans, and that's such a small part of Mexican food. Or Tex-Mex.
Them
rather.
beans. How do y'all?
You don't have to have beans. You can get double rice. You can get veggies.
But then beans may have touched it.
That's how I feel about cucumber.
Cucumber. Yes.
Our office manager here tried to give me a roll of sushi earlier today, and I was like, well, what type is this? And she said, California roll. I said, no, I ain't gonna be able to do that. And she was like, why? I said, it's got cucumber in it. I'm like, no, it doesn't. I said, yeah, I see it right there.
Yo, California roll got cucumber. Mine don't. You know what I mean?
Well, the one she bought had cucumber in it. It was shining in
I
there
don't
too.
like
with
that
the,
either.
I was like, yeah, no, I'm not eating that.
I don't like imitation crab meat.
Yeah,
tastes-
no, that's really bad.
It tastes sweet and it's gross.
The texture's off too.
I concur. I do got a question for y'all since, you know, Dr. Strickland done sent us down this spiral. So if you had to choose your man.
Oh, child, everybody know mine. Tyrese, honey.
No, that's not an option.
Oh. You giving me options? Oh, man, you can't give me no options.
Yes. So would it be Q from Love and Basketball? Would it be Lorenz Tate's character from Love Jones? Would it be Lyric from what's the movie? Jason's Lyric. Would it be? I need two more. Let me think.
Tay Diggs from Best Man.
Tay Diggs from Best Man. Or would it be Boris Kojo from Soul Food?
Oh, the show.
The show.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I was like, Soul Food, but you...
The show.
The show. Ooh. Jeez. Ooh.
It is so hard.
Yeah, that's a hard list. Because
because I would
I
want
can
to
see
choose
drawbacks on
everybody.
Yeah.
I almost said Tupac from Poetic Justice, but we can't have him in real life. So I didn't put him out there.
Gotcha.
Oh, see, all of them have some because I would say Q, but then he wasn't mature enough in the movie to hold a relationship and go through problems. So I can't like and then I would say Lorenz Tate, like those would be my top two. But Lorenz Tate, something was going on. He was broken or something. I don't know. Something wasn't right. So I guess I would have to choose Boris Kojo because he's the only one that was mature.
Okay.
And seemingly emotionally intelligent.
Okay.
And that's what I look for in relationships.
Yeah. Out of that list in particular. Yeah. Like I want, like something in me wants to say Jason, you know, from
Alan Payne.
Like something in me wants to say him, but
I like
he
the
had
romantic
a beautiful
part
spirit,
of him.
and he normally has that type of energy in any movie that he's been in or series.
Yeah. So something in me wants to say him, but it's been a long time since I've seen that movie. So I feel like I may be interjecting other movies with that one. But from what I do remember,
he had a lot of romantic moments in that I can remember. Like I haven't seen that movie in so long.
Yeah.
But
you know, you like the Texan in him in that movie. The Houstonian came out.
Maybe
I
that's
ain't
what
never
it is.
been there before. Like he was just country.
He was.
Yeah.
But he is. It seems like that in normal life.
Now he gonna have to wax that chest though, because in that movie, now the current him, he don't be on that level of hairiness. But in that movie, I was like,
I know that one scene. I was like,
like, I need you to
that's
wax.
a man. That's like one of them 1970s, like, you know, Burt Reynolds type of man. What happened to men's body hair? You know, like
it's
back
not
in
right now.
You know, like back in the 60s and 70s, you know, it won't nothing for a man to have a full t-shirt of hair.
Turn her mic off. She said a full t-shirt. I can't stand that. Is so gross to me. I cannot stand that.
Okay, so mama, close your ears. So all I keep thinking about is if we trying to get it in, I'm gonna be like grabbing hair with my lips and mouth, and it's gonna be wet and stuff. I'm just like, oh my gosh,
That
can't
is
do
so
it.
gross.
So I can't do it. So any people out there that like hairy partners, kudos to you. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I tend to date very metrosexual men that used to be thugs in their past life. That's not the point. But I can't do all that hair.
I can't either. I can't stand them little baby popcorn things either. I can't stand
Taco meat. That's what my mama call it, taco meat.
I can't stand that either.
Yeah.
That is gross.
That's going to be a no. Yeah, I don't like hairy. Now I like facial hair.
Yeah, I do like
body.
facial.
I
But
don't like
body
Child,
hair?
that facial. Yes, hunty. Facial
Okay,
hair.
we're not talking about your husband. Come back.
Okay, because I just saw him completely in my face.
I know. I told mine, don't you ever shave your beard off. He tried it one time a few years ago, and I was like,
I remember.
I
that.
almost didn't even recognize him, like legit, because he had been wearing a beard for so long.
So
I was
you-
like,
It's like, so you don't want to be married no more, husband? You don't want? Okay.
I was like, wait, I totally forgot what you look like.
I thought somebody was robbing you if you would have gave me that.
Because when I met him, the job he had, it was a requirement to be clean shaven. But then
gotcha.
when he left that job, he started growing facial hair, and that was probably maybe about a year and a half into our relationship. And y'all know we've been together over 10 years, so he's had facial hair pretty much our entire relationship. And then one day he just decided, like, I'm just gonna shave it off, like them videos where the dads and scare the babies. It was like that. I was like, who is this?
Yeah.
What? No, this grow that back, because no.
Yeah, Rodney shaved his one time, and he looked younger than he looked now. I'm like, sir,
You
I need
already
you.
look young.
Right. I said, sir, I need you to look like a grown man. Grow that back, please.
Yeah.
You didn't tell us yours, Dr. Wall.
So
Oh yeah, you said who you wouldn't choose.
who did I say I wouldn't choose?
Jason's lyric.
Well, no, I like him. It's just he gonna have to get that hair off his body. It's on his legs. Let me come back. I'm sorry. So probably the most appealing for a committed relationship for me would probably be Boris Kojo. Because I like that he was able to support Terry. I like the energy that he had about himself. He seems to be like that with his actual wife.
He does.
He's comedic in a total goofball way, which I love to see that in the men that I date, that they can be a complete goofball. So I like that about him. Now,
He also seemed like that in Brown Sugar with
yes,
Sanaa Lathan.
yes, I forgot he was in that movie, but yes. Now I would not date Q/Quincy because I done dated him and it didn't go well, and I don't feel like fighting a man for hurting me the way that he was doing Sanaa. In real life and fake life. Who else did I say? Lorenz Tate. And that's gonna be my sneaky link, but I don't know if I can.
Medallions.
I don't know if he gonna make it because he got too many issues. Yeah, he got too many issues.
And then we didn't say nothing about Tay Diggs.
Now Tay Diggs,
not
he like
one time.
okay, but what movie? Because that was the problem. We didn't say the movie.
Yeah, we did. Best man.
Oh, Best Man. No, I ain't gonna be able to do it because he out here sleeping with his homeboy girl. You know, like he became a better man towards the end of the second one, but that's the end of the second one.
But he
was
seemed
still
confused too, though.
He still got too many things that he need to work on. That are there other movies where I feel like he's been a better man? Yeah, not Brown Sugar, but because he was doing the same thing.
Same thing, yeah.
But
I just feel like he has this air about him that I wouldn't like.
not professionally, in his personal life.
Yeah.
Got you. So he just be my homeboy.
Gotcha.
I don't
And
even,
that's it.
like. I think Lorenz Tate and Q can be my homeboy, but I don't know if I
You
can be.
you can be friends with Lorenz Tate and not want him.
He would be the
Well, if I
slinky link
got
too.
If I got Boris Kujo, no. 'Cause
If I didn't mind coming down, some inches, because I'm a lot taller than him.
Lay down.
Yeah,
Just lay down.
there you go.
Good point.
'Cause that's a good looking man.
Now, he is good looking.
And he looked the same.
Yeah, he hasn't aged.
He looked so good. And he seemed like a very sweet person.
He
Like
does.
his all of him and his siblings seemed like very nice people.
Yeah.
Wow. That was good. Interesting set of individuals.
Had to switch them up.
You
know?
did.
Couldn't pick the same person.
Right.
I know, because there's only so many to choose from. But I was like, oh, okay. You had throwback movies in there. Okay.
I know.
Because
I haven't seen Jason's lyrics
a
in
good
so long.
love
Yeah.
for all of them,
Yeah.
That's good. I like it.
I could have said this Christmas. I could have said this Christmas for Q. I just couldn't think of his name.
For Q,
no, that's not him. Is that him? Who is he?
That's Mekhi Phifer.
Wrong person. Y'all.
You were talking about Idris Elba? He was in This Christmas.
Yeah, but I wasn't talking about it. She said the right person, Mekhi Phifer. Because you know, they be getting confused in the older movies, Mekhi and Epps.
Yeah, Omar Epps. Yeah,
gotcha. Wow, that was interesting.
Yeah.
Alrighty then, ladies. So we hope y'all enjoy, guys. You know, it's just here cutting up, acting like fools. We'll catch y'all on the flip side, since we're talking about men with t-shirt hair.
Must be his volume control.
So, okay, interns, process your notes. Be sure to catch us next session and find us on all major platforms at The Recycled Podcast.
If you're a new intern, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share.
Thanks for listening. And remember, we are shifting and reshaping our psyche through healing conversations and connections, one discussion at a time.